back, everybody. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan. Our third episode of our NFC season previews coming at you tonight. The NFC North. But before all of that funny business, boys, I'm Slim, he's Slam, and to my left, that is the Bandwagon Fan. As always, folks, proudly brought to you, proudly. I tried hard, but I'm going to keep going. Proudly brought to you by the Jersey Cartel over on Facebook. If you haven't already, check them out for your best deals when it comes to American sport merchandise. But boys, how are we?
Very good, Blaze.
Yeah, good.
How are you?
Yeah, well, I had a little
No one
stutter.
ever asks you.
No one ever does.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
good?
Yeah, not bad.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks. Schnauzer, you good?
Yeah, great. Thanks. More importantly, how are you?
Yeah, fantastic, brother. I'm feeling the love. Had a bit surgery last week. Yeah.
Here we go. A bit of me time.
You open this can of worms. I'm gonna run with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to run with it.
You asked me how I was. and now I'm
Now
a mess.
you know why we're going to ask you.
I've got problems with prescription meds and all kinds of stuff going
I
on.
can't drive a car.
I can't. I haven't driven in a week. Had to get a lift, the old man, just to get here, boys, just to put this show on. So, anyway,
Still grateful.
that's enough about me. The NFC North is on the
That's way too much.
the NFC North is on the agenda tonight.
NFC
That's terrible. That is truly terrible.
Didn't like that.
The NFC North is what we're going to delve into tonight. But before we jump into that, obviously, with the socials, if you haven't already, check us out over on Instagram or Facebook. Give us a follow or a share. Tell your mates about us. We'll get all our stuff up on there to keep you alerted when our episodes are dropping on YouTube. If you're watching us now, or of course, wherever you get your podcast, give us those 5-star ratings. Help us grow the podcast because we are just jumping into season 2 like nothing else.
Oh, yes.
It's just flying.
Yep, you.
Tell you what, we're not
Bloody
jumping into the
right.
NFC North tonight.
The NFC North has been slightly stalled, but we will jump into it now. Schnazi, your pick for the top of the NFC North this coming season.
Pretty obvious one for mine.
Yep.
The Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
I've got them going 12-5.
Yep.
You like to
Thanks.
have a go at that? I've got them 13-4, Blaze. I've got them 13-4. They keep Aaron Rodgers, who, for a long time it looked like he wanted out.
It was a bit shaky ground there. Yeah.
There was storylines plus.
Yeah.
Did you like him on Jeopardy?
No,
He didn't get the gig.
Well, we did the... What was he?
Yeah,
Special
he
roast?
had his one.
I'll tell you what, I did notice.
He went for the full-time gig, didn't get it.
Did notice in the off-season that he shacked up with Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's been with her for a little bit.
the girl from
Divergent series.
Divergence and
Oh, we're back to the movie chat.
Folding Our Stars and alike.
Oh.
Yeah. You would have seen that a couple of times, Schnazi.
You've been to the hospital now. We're going to talk about
Yes. Yeah, I've got the futility.
You didn't die, Blaze.
I've got the futility of life on the mind.
Yeah.
It's so fragile.
Blazer's mortality is really centering around tonight's podcast.
You just never know how long you
So I
got.
might have fixed this back to the CBT.
There's only you just never know how long you got, which is rings true for the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers because that relationship is on tender hooks for sure.
6 months to go and that's it.
Yeah, I think 6 months.
There you go.
Okay, you heard it here first. We do like to break the news before it breaks.
That is true.
So
You
obviously
said that on Hard Knocks?
that's a throwback to episode 1
Yeah.
of season 2. Thank you very much. But obviously with the Rodgers conundrum, let's put that aside briefly.
Are you talking about Aaron or Amari?
Aaron, definitely.
Okay, fair
Yeah, we'll get to Amari. But Aaron Rodgers coming back. For me, they're running it back with the same 3 that got them to where they got last year, the NFC Championship game. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams. So you've got those 3 coming back. And I think you've got David Bakhtiari back in the lineup this year from his injury. So that will help a little bit on the offensive line. But my question for you, Schnazi, is going to be... he would have had surgery. My question for you, Schnazi, is do you think anything in Packer land is going to change this year to push him past that NFC Championship game?
Same thing that's happened the last probably 4 or 5
That's
years.
what I think too.
They're going to have a great record. They're going to be a great regular season team. But when you're so reliant on very few players and then you're going up against some elite defenses who can lock those players down, your flame just goes out. And unfortunately, the same thing's going to happen here. What I did like from Aaron Rodgers was the brutal honesty.
Yep.
Which just has me knowing that at the end of the season, he's cutting ties.
Yep.
I called this last year too. I said if the season starts to go array, then they maybe try to trade him to try to get some value out of him because they're not getting anything beyond him post this year. And they're going to bring young Jordan Love in, who, quite rightly, is Like, how good is
Unproven.
he?
Yeah.
No one
No
knows.
idea.
Yeah.
And the whole Packers, once again, they did the same thing from Aaron Rodgers. We spoke about this last year.
Yep.
Worked perfectly when they,
With
gave
the
the
Favre.
keys.
Yeah.
Brett, see you later, mate. Bring in Aaron. I just don't see that coming from Love. Like, I'm not
No.
as high on
No.
him as many people are.
I think if they were willing to do that, and if they thought Jordan Love could play, they wouldn't have put up with the shit from Aaron Rodgers in the offseason.
I think you're probably bang
They would
on.
have said, you know what,
Yeah.
mate, get stuffed. You're not going to talk about us like that. We're not going to bend to your demands.
Yeah.
See you later. We reckon we've got the next guy in waiting anyway, so we'll just start him now.
So we talked.
I think they know he can't play.
We talked in our last episode about whether or not you have faith in the Saints franchise and what they've built down there to overcome some adversity. Conversely, you've got a bit of a dumpster fire going on at Green Bay between the head office,
Between everyone.
unconfirmed reports between
The
head
vets.
coach Matt LaFleur and
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers and
The coach,
Yep.
the quarterback, the vets, the past retired players,
Yep.
other players in the league who, he's been trying to recruit. He
Yep.
said he's had some issues with the front office.
It is
This
not easy
whole
to get people to
thing-
Green Bay.
Yep.
He's such a great player. And if he wasn't as elite as he is,
Yep.
100% dumpster fire, all blows up.
Yeah, correct.
But he's too good of a player to let that happen.
Exactly. So that comes back to my point, I guess, is how much value can you put in the superstardom of Aaron Rodgers and the very, very valuable play of Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams when they're up and about.
7 wins.
7 wins is your call.
Yep.
7 wins.
What was that, sorry?
I just said Schnazzy said he had 7 wins, but his total on here is 12. But I guess that's the difference between what it could be and what it can't be.
That'd be a 5 and 12 team otherwise,
Yeah,
boys.
yeah, that's great. Quick math
There you
too.
go.
That's fantastic. Slammer, do you want to step us through the ins and the outs after
So I've
Schnaz?
got them 13 and 4. I'm not sure if I said that.
Yeah.
But they've picked up Amari Rodgers at wide receiver from Clemson. Now,
Okay.
Clemson have got a good history with wide
They
receivers
do. Yep.
transitioning in the NFL. So he'd be happy with that. He's only a smaller guy, 5'10", but he's a stretch the field type.
Yep.
So, they've got to do that. They also shored up the offensive line with the Josh Myers
Okay.
out of Ohio State.
Second
That's a
round
good
pick,
Second rounder. Yep. And then they went a quarterback in the first.
cornerback. We should stipulate.
Yeah. Didn't really bring in much in free agency, Blaze.
I don't
Unless
think any free agents want to go there.
Unless you consider Blake Bortles a big name.
No,
You don't?
No,
Okay,
no,
good.
typically
Neither
not. No.
It's not 2016 anymore.
Yeah, the biggest thing they did was bring back Mercedes Lewis, so that's not
Yeah.
massive.
Kevin King at corner can play a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're pretty good at corner already.
Yeah, well, so they lost Corey Lindsley,
Yeah.
the centre. He's gone to the Chargers. Jamal Williams, they lost him, the running back as well.
Yep.
They lost a few others, but nothing massive.
They still don't have Clay Matthews.
Tavon
Yeah.
Austin's on about his 17th team. He's now down to
Oh,
Jacksonville.
is he?
so
Yeah, okay.
that's good. He's punching his tickets.
Oh,
His passport will be amazing.
he'll
He's
His
been
freaking
everywhere.
flyer points.
Yeah.
Oh,
be all over it, wouldn't he?
he'd have a house in almost every state.
I was
Actually, he's not getting paid enough. He wouldn't be getting.
Maybe some studio apartments.
Yeah. As I turn my nose up to the cool 1.1 mil he'll make this year at Jacksonville.
Yeah, for you
Chump change.
sneeze at that.
Mm.
So yeah, I think the jury's out on the Packers still a little bit here. I think they'll have a strong enough year to probably win the
They'll be
North.
the best in the North.
Oh,
comfortably.
yeah, I got them comfortably winning their division.
Yep.
They're still one of the best teams in the NFC.
I got them the third best team in the NFC.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll be in the NFC title game.
Yeah, yeah, and certainly not pushing past. Like Schnazzy kind of mentioned, those elite defenses that are floating around. The 49ers getting stronger again. We'll touch on them in the next episode. But
I mean, the Packers are the type of team for mine. If you put them in the West, that'd be the worst team.
yeah.
They got an easy.
Oh yeah. I'm
Oh,
with
that's
you. Oh yeah. I don't hate it. They'd be around the mark.
I know. I think they would be.
Oh,
They've got a very.
I said it.
They go up against the Lions twice a year. That's 2 free
Red
wins.
bubble.
You're going to go up the Vikings, who we're going to get to in a sec.
Yep.
Not much chop this year. And the Bears, who are consistently inconsistent.
Yep.
So you're just almost getting at least 5, divisional conference matchups
Yep.
that are just going to be easy wins.
There's shades of the AFC East for years with the Patriots there, isn't there?
100%.
Oh, definitely.
Well, punch your ticket
Not as
before the
bad,
season
but
starts.
it's bad, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You did mention the Vikings. I'm going to mix up the order. I know we've got the Bears next on there, but the Viking. Oh, we'll go with the Bears. All right, Chucky. You've already loaded up your stats.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, mate. I don't want to throw you off track. So Schnazzy, what do you got the Bears going this year, brother?
I've got them at 7 and 10.
Yeah.
And that's because I feel like the Bears should be a lot better this year.
Yep.
They showed that they're still towards the back end of last year, they showed glimpses. I still firmly believe Mitch Trubisky should be their quarterback.
Okay.
Because he's at my Bills, and I do not want him there.
They lit it up for the Bills the other day.
Oh, he's a what are they saying? They're going to turn him into a $20 million a year quarterback.
Pre-season week 2, it's not that hard to look, right?
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. And he played against the Bears, so
That's a Nickelodeon valuable player you're talking about there, mate.
That is true.
Easy.
But no, for mine, I think the Bears have got a few nice pieces, especially on defense.
Yep.
We know the likes of Roquan Smith, and they've got a few of the other good guys.
Khalil Mack.
Khalil, yes, you know Khalil.
It's a big boy.
Thanks. So they've got a few nice pieces on defense. Their offense, should be a bit better than last year.
Yep.
Hopefully, they're a bit more consistently consistent.
Yep.
As opposed to what Big Mitch brought you.
Yep.
But I just don't have enough. As everyone knows, I'm just huge on what you brought to the table last year is really going to paint the picture for you next year. And I just can't buy much of what the Bears are putting down. In saying that, they're in an average division, so I've got them second.
Okay.
You got them 7 and 10. What do we set the line at for the fans today on the chat? I've got them the inverse of that. I've got them 10 and 7. Now I would like to stipulate, Blaze.
Is
this is reliant on Justin Fields pretty much being the starter by about week 2.
I was going to say is stipulated on a certain high-ranking quarterback coming in.
They must have been absolutely licking their lips when they fell to him at 11 and they traded up.
Yeah.
Like you'd just be having a field day. With
Yeah,
that.
you'd be a field day.
Yeah.
Justin Fields day.
Like that.
Yeah, not bad.
Cool.
Bring back.
They did I don't know. Do you even remember this? They played in the playoffs last year.
They did.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears
Doesn't that
snuck
just
in.
You just think about that and you're like, really?
Yeah.
No, they did.
Their defense was good all year.
Yeah.
It's just their offense was putrid.
Yeah, there's nothing
They
wrong
coughed
with
up
there's
some
nothing wrong with
serious
the
games on
defense.
the offense.
I like Jalen Fields. The only thing, Justin Fields, not Jalen Fields.
Yep.
Sorry. Apologies if you're listening. The only
Sure
thing
he
I
is.
don't like
Sure he
about
is.
him is that he came from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State do not have any track record of having good quarterbacks within the league. You look
That
at
is
Dwayne
true.
Haskins. You look, there's a whole plethora of
Yeah.
young quarterbacks who have come out and never made it. Cardale Jones is another one.
Yeah.
Braxton Miller couldn't make it as a quarterback, went to a receiver.
I'm not sure any of them were as good as Justin
I
Fields.
don't believe
was
so.
at
Justin
Ohio
Fields has
State.
always been
A supreme
unbelievable
talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the program.
But
just
yes, I
makes
see
the
what you're
quarterbacks
saying.
look better. It's hard.
Recently,
yeah.
they haven't had a good transition period into the NFL. I agree. But as you said there, the defense was pretty good. It got them to the playoffs last year with Mitch Trubisky. Justin Fields has to be an upgrade on Mitch Trubisky. There's no
100%.
There's no question
debate
about that. No question about that.
They spent their first 5 rounds all on offense.
Yep.
Second and third, they went offensive line. And then they went a running back out of Virginia Tech in Khalil Herbert. And then they went Daz Newsome, a wide receiver out of UNC.
Okay.
Who's another quick, shorter bloke as well. But they've identified their weakness. They've put effort into fixing that up there. Obviously, my 10 and 7 is, as I said, predicated on them starting
Fields over the Red Rifle.
Over AD. But yeah, as well, I don't have a huge love for the Vikings, and I got absolutely none for the Lions. So I'm giving them basically 4
You got any
wins
mail
there.
on there? Schnazi just whispered in my ear about Nick Foles. Is he still on that roster?
Nick Foles, is he still on that roster?
He must
think
be the
he
third
is
stringer.
still
He must
on
be
that
the
roster
third
because I
stringer.
can't imagine anybody else is taking that on. They
that-
lost Kyle Fuller to
To
Denver.
maybe sum up what Sam said before, right? The Bears actually identified their weakness and went after it.
Yeah.
And I did not expect that from them, given all the bloody catastrophes the front office has been making.
Yeah,
in
correct.
recent years, like signing Nick Foles, continuing Trubisky. Some of the moves they've just been making are horrendous.
Very hard to rationalise.
It is. But they've gone, hey, where's the hole?
They have signed
Offense?
about 20 blokes here as well on free agency to 1-year deals. So they've obviously trying a few
Gone vets,
things.
yeah.
They've gone out and got Marquise Goodwin, who has been at San Francisco for a long time.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
So they've been a light on at receiver for a little while
They
now,
have
with
been
Alan
there.
Rob, with A-Rob kind of
Now,
sitting
our
out there.
man Talon Hutchins, he was pretty flat when he heard that Jason Peters, the left tackle from Philly, signed there because he is 39 years old.
Yeah, so he's bringing some experience.
Yeah, that's experience. That's a hell of a lot of experience. He's been in the league as long as we've been alive. But
Comfortably.
yeah, it's interesting.
He's almost got a decade on us, hasn't he?
There you
Oh,
go.
in the league. Sorry,
in
I'm
the
with
league,
you.
I said, but yeah.
yeah.
You gotta turn your
Huge
ears on,
success.
Blaze.
Look, they've invested what that shows me with all those 1-year deals, which Slammer pointed out, is they're investing in the now and they're trying to give Justin the tools to succeed.
Correct.
Yeah,
They're giving him
and it's
every
no massive
opportunity.
loss. If these players don't work, we just let them walk.
Yep.
100%. And then you keep the ones that have played well.
It's about building it. I
absolutely.
mean, people talking about it in professional sports a fair bit about winning cultures and what that kind of looks like as opposed to, being in better draft positions. I think the Bears are at the point where they're not,
You can't keep going back to
you
the
can't
well.
keep going back to the well. You've got to at some stage stick with what you got, build on what you've got, I should say, and then back yourself to make something of it.
100%.
The other thing here is, Blaze, Schnaz, I'll just ask you what the socials were as well there. But the thing is here, Blaze, the Bears have never, in their entire history, had an A-grade prospect at quarterback. They've never had a superstar at quarterback. They won Super Bowls in, I think it was the 80s, 85, I reckon 85 Bears rings a bell. And that was all on defense. They've never had, the last time they had an all-pro quarterback was the 50s.
Yeah, right.
Jay Cutler was pretty decent for a period.
But nothing of
Not all
superstar
pro,
level.
yeah.
He's a bit, he's not what you'd call A grade. He's B grade, isn't
And obviously
he?
Fields,
That second
Fields isn't that yet, but he has the potential.
There's reason to be excited, and everything that I'm reading is that he's blowing up at training camp, and there's lots of oohs and ahs, and he's doing things that's
It's good for you, Sam.
Well, all right, I watched stuff.
I'll watch. Yeah, he read the little byline at the bottom of ESPN there.
I saw the tagline of the video, and I thought I'll give that a watch.
When you watch the TV,
the
words along the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I said. The byline, ESPN. You know how it goes on.
No. When you're watching a movie.
Oh, you're talking about subtitles.
I'm getting shade, and a bloke didn't know what subtitles were.
I don't use them.
Gee whiz. That leads into my question with the Bears, and you've kind of touched on it quite well, Chucky, is that quarterback situation between Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, and Justin Fields, the young gun. What's in their best interest? Is it to chuck Justin Fields in from week one, or does he need a couple of weeks to wet his feet underneath Andy?
That's what pre-season's for, Blaze.
Get the hose out, spray him in pre-season, put him in from week one.
Put him in from week one.
Hey,
you know what you're going to get from Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to get you there.
It's just the bright lights of week one. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm on board for playing in week one, for sure.
If you went back and asked the Chiefs players and said, if you could go back, would you start Mahomes week one? I'm hearing that, yeah, they would.
Oh.
I read something in the last week that said, yeah, we pretty much knew in week one of his debut season that we could have started him ahead of Alex Smith, but they gave him the year off just to get better a little bit.
Yeah, it's Robert
Alex Smith's better than Andy Dalton.
I don't think you would change a thing.
No, you wouldn't there. But in this situation, Alex Smith is far better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
So I think you just blood the kid, let him have a go at it.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, they'll be better for it.
They have the pieces around him to actually. They're not throwing him in the deep end straight away. They've got a good defense.
They didn't lose.
It's not like a poor kid called Zach Wilson down at New York.
No,
he's going to have a shit show for his first year. He's going to have to start. But
anyways, my favourite team.
Your favourite team. Everyone's favourite team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, we're not quite at Detroit yet. Minnesota Vikings. Captain Kirk Cousins. Your cousin Kirk.
If any team's having a bad preseason, off-season, it's the Vikings.
Existence.
I mean,
never won a ball.
It's
pretty cold in Minnesota.
I like two things about the Vikings this year.
Yep.
Okay.
I like Irv Smith at tight end to be their most improved player. Now that old mate Rudolph's left. Touched on him earlier in this,
touch on that.
Kyle.
Last season.
Red
last episode.
Yeah, Red Nose.
And then I also still like Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
The Jets. He is unreal. So I still like what they've got, but it just doesn't sound good. The news, some of the stories about Kurt and things, hearing happenings down there, they're not going to commit to him. I don't think anyone in the NFL is going to commit to him.
They're positioning to move away from him.
They are 100%.
I would.
And they don't have anything backing him up at the minute. So I've got them.
They drafted Kellen Mond.
You're an idiot.
I've got them at 7-10.
Yeah.
But if it all blows up, they could much easily fall to a 3 or 4 win side.
I'm hearing you. They did get a bloke back from, I'm not sure if he was injured or on the COVID out last year.
Still got Dalvin Cook.
Daniil Hunter coming off the edge there. He's back this year as well.
It was injury.
Yeah, I think it was injury. So that's going to add a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. But obviously offensive is their main concern here. And as everyone in the NFL land kind of knows now, when the bright lights come on, Kirk goes to water. And that's just, unfortunately for him,
I've backed him for years and years and years.
Yeah, you have.
And I'll still continue to back him.
Yeah, he's your captain.
Even if he gets run out.
Yep. But unfortunately for him, the schedule this year, I think he's got 3 Monday night games.
Well, that's 3 losses plus.
So that's not going to be nice for him. He doesn't handle those very well.
Actually, when they got Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Veteran corner.
They picked up Dalvin Tomlinson from the Giants, the defensive tackle there.
Sheldon Richardson is not bad either.
Sheldon Richardson.
But it's still the wrong side of the ball, yeah?
It is, yeah.
Yes.
This is the only one where me and Schnaz have got any parity in this division at 7-10. But yeah, I I'm not feeling the Vikings.
When you think Vikings, you don't think, not like Carolina. With Carolina last episode, we were kind of like, yep, there's optimism there. You can see what they're kind of doing.
See the future.
The Vikings, I feel like they're just stuck in absolute purgatory, and they're not.
Kellen Mond's not going to be the answer there, is he, Blaze?
No, God no.
I think
Serious?
this is the issue with the Vikings too. You sort of look at them and go, they're not in a rebuilding mode.
No.
Because you've got Justin Jefferson, who was elite last year. You're going to throw in Dalvin Cook at running back in his absolute prime.
Yep.
Your defense is
Probably
still
top 3 running back in the
Your
league.
defense is still pretty decent, but it's all just seeming to blow up in a period where you should be in your window to win.
Yeah. And well, you paid Kirk
And you've
like
got-
you're in
it's
the
just-
window.
And you've got Adam Thielen as well.
That's the point.
And
You've
you won't
hit the
have
nail on
Thielen
the
much
head right
longer.
there, Blaze. You've hit the nail on the head, mate.
You paid the quarterback.
There's no point
Like
having.
a
There's no
Super
point
Bowl.
having all the pieces and then not having the quarterback that can run the ship.
Yeah.
Like
That's it. That's 100% it. And
you're
you
just
can
wasting money.
you can see with the Vikings that you just cannot trust cousin Kirk, and that was my note for you, Schnazzy.
He's not going to get it done.
Schnaz's cousin Kirk, you just can't trust him, and when it counts, he's let you down too many times to the point where if he came out this year and sent the doubters back into their cave or whatever, you'd still be like,
I'd love to see it, Blaze.
Yeah.
I'd be here for it. I'd get on board with it. But
Yeah.
I feel like at this stage, how many years have we seen this now?
Like,
This is
years
like
and years and
this
years.
is like when RG3 got drafted. This has been going on with him
Yeah.
back at Washington. So what we're talking like 8 years at
Yeah.
least of just mediocrity.
yeah, it's mediocrity.
It's
is what it
mediocre.
is.
That's the
Yeah.
best way to describe it. There's
Yeah.
just yes, he's a guy that can get you to the postseason, but he turns to water under the bright lights. You never see anything overly spectacular out of him.
He's not going to win you the game.
And they've got one of those rosters that's fantastic almost everywhere else. There's no
Yeah.
real offensive problems.
No.
There's good wide receivers. There's a fantastic running back. There's no major holes
Yeah.
in this team. The problem is the guy under center.
Yeah,
He
which
just
is
can't
the
get
most
it done.
important player in
Yeah.
football. So that's ultimately that contract they got up and under with him a couple of years back now has completely stuffed them.
It's bizarre. And I said for ages, Blaze, they stuffed up massively letting Teddy Bridgewater go.
Yeah.
They should have
Yeah.
kept him ahead of this guy, and they wouldn't be paying him anywhere near as much because they would have had him.
It's a tough one. They're in a
Big
tough
facts.
boat.
Big facts.
They're in a tough boat. Now, another team that's in a tough boat is Detroit Lions. And
Doesn't
I
get
have-
much tougher.
Oh boy.
I feel sorry for Jared Goff.
Yes.
He has gone from the bright lights, the sunny state. He's gone from California, Los Angeles.
Pay me a picture. Sunset
Palm
Boulevard.
trees, Sunset
palm
Boulevard,
trees.
everything you need
Yep.
to Motor
Beautiful
City,
women,
Detroit,
sun.
Malice in the Palace.
What are you saying about the women of Detroit?
Nothing particularly about them, but LA.
Yep.
But you just feel for
I've seen 8 Mile.
I'd rather be at one of them than the other.
the glitz
Let's
and the
leave it at
glamour of being the number one pick.
Yeah.
It's living it up in LA,
can
having
go
a
and see
nice house in Hollywood.
With
You
the
can go
biggest
and see
Hollywood
The
roster.
Ford Museum, though, probably. That's in Detroit.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah, so get out of Thomas Way there. G'day, mate. But I feel sorry for him, and it's like, it's just happened. On the other hand, Matthew Stafford, when the time gets to him, like, he's just got the biggest, get out of jail free card ever.
He is the happiest bloke in America.
when someone
He's
wins,
cheering.
6 months.
He's cheering.
Often
Yeah.
like boxing, someone loses.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Jared Goff has been knocked out.
I mean, you end up in Detroit and
Tell Ronnie.
you get swapped for Stafford. So Stafford has been a fantastic steward for that franchise for a long time with little to no help at all.
He was carrying him on their back, something which Goff
Real-
won't and will
Yeah.
not do.
Real stalwart.
Yeah, Will Stewart. And obviously Megatron was there for a little while there. But
Give Goff 4 years before he's out the league.
imagine Goff walking
Wow.
in Detroit and finding out that I think Golladay went before Stafford.
He's
but
got a big contract though.
He walked in there, and your only offensive weapon really, outside of maybe TJ Hawkinson,
It's
is
Jeff Okuda because he doesn't guard anyone.
is Kenny Golladay, who's then gone
Yeah.
to New York 2 days
See you
later.
later.
So that is just an absolute. We talk about dumpster fires. That is a really red hot.
It's a battling franchise.
Yeah,
Has been forever.
It's hard to see any kind of lie. I like to look for some.
Anytime they get a fantastic player, they end their career early. Barry Sanders ends his career early.
Megatron.
Couldn't take enough of him. Megatron, no. I've had 8 years in the NFL. No, it's enough in
Yeah.
Detroit. See you later.
Stafford's going to be for mine. We'll get to LA in the next episode. He's going to be one of the most improved players in the league this year.
They're my tip to win the NFC.
Mate, he could be. Yeah, I was going to say he could be an NFC Championship quarterback.
There's you can't quantify the benefit or the value that Stafford brought to him.
Yeah,
Goff
100%.
Goff's arguably
he's
what
3
they made
times
the
better than
trade
Goff.
has been the weakest link in LA for years.
This is what we were just talking about with Minnesota. They didn't have the right guy, yet they've just been sitting on Kirk. LA knew they didn't have the right guy,
See you later.
went out and made a move,
Yeah.
and went and got an absolute all-star in, and now they are loaded.
Yeah, probably.
Minnesota,
in every
Hello?
position. And we'll get to them.
Yeah, a lot of our fancies.
Probably
for the
shows you a lot right now how much we're talking about the Rams and the Lions.
Yeah, we're hot on them.
Yeah, exactly. That's the interest in the Lions franchise.
So-
Hey, fun fact. I wish I could have kept this to you guys off air, but I couldn't because I just love it so much. The new offensive coordinator at Detroit,
Yeah, Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn, our old mate from the LA Chargers.
Yeah, I knew that. You knew that, Schnutz.
I knew that too.
Yeah.
You guys are full of shit. We ran Anthony Lynn out of town last year.
You did. You led the charge.
No, he couldn't
That's
stay.
the only place that would take you.
He couldn't stay at the Chargers a moment longer, and he's landed
You're welcome.
in Detroit.
Do you reckon Anthony Lynn and Goff got on the same flight
Oh, I hope so.
out of LA?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Geez, that would have been a fun ride.
Yeah. Oh, you got traded too? Yes. I also suck.
That would be the most depressing flight.
Yeah.
To wrap that up, right? I got him going 3-14.
Ah,
Slammer.
that's overs. I got him 1-16.
It's dark
One.
days. It's dark days for
One.
Detroit.
And I was being nice,
Yeah.
giving out one.
The fans at home.
Yeah.
80% under 4.5.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Which could be anywhere from 1 to 3.
You gotta
is
get
right.
you gotta get on Sportsbet
and
and
that's
check
the ballpark we've been at.
Sportsbet. Our good friends over there. We need to check out the line for Detroit because if it's anything,
It's whatever I said.
oh, is it?
4.5.
Well, I'm all over that like a
Yeah.
pig in shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Be on honey.
Yeah. Anything.
I don't know. I got
cares?
no more out of that one. But
Jam in a jam jar.
Rambling.
loosely, very loosely. But hey, that's the 4 teams from the NFC North, folks. Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan. I've been Slim, he's been Slam, and that's been the Bandwagon Fan. As always, follow us on our social channels. Any kind of ratings and subscribes over on YouTube and the podcast.
Post a comment and let us know whether you agree or
Comments, yeah, I don't mind that.
Ah.
Get stuck
I'm happy
into
to
us.
get into a debate.
Get stuck into us. So Chucky would definitely. Almost took my microphone out with my face there, folks, if you're not watching at home. But Slam it, with all that said and done, it's been a bit of a funny old one tonight. But you want to send us out?
Even though you just said it 35 seconds ago.
Yeah, I thought he was just wrapping us up real
Did I wrap? Oh, I did
You've been
too.
Slim, I've been Slim. That's the Bandwagon Fan. Good night.